Hope you're all doing well. So, yeah, in case you didn't see it, I did a challenge tonight. I did 500 squats and 500 crunches. So, yeah, so I'm pretty happy with my result, but I could have done better. I definitely could have done better, but I think I wanted to make it a proper challenge. By so I did like 50 reps of the squats. I probably should have split it up into two like mini sets of like 25, and then have a little break, and then another 25. That way, I could have just not had so much cumulative fatigue from that. It's just perhaps I should have split up into 25s. That probably would have made it somewhat quicker. I still don't think I would have done it as quick as Jace, though. He's an absolute machine, like the way he was just cranking out rep after rep after rep, just like, and not much rest in between, just, and then going into the crunches and just like, yeah. But it's just I've been seeing a lot of this stuff, like people like Jace. I've been seeing people like Jesse doing all these challenges and stuff. I thought, I'll try one myself. I'll see how well I can do, But how's it going, Dale? You all right? Yeah. So I thought, I'd have a go at a challenge, but I think, if I'd have like structured it better, I could have done it a lot quicker. Hello, Mum Life. How you doing? You all right? Welcome to my live. What was your name again? But yeah, didn't you not see my live earlier? I did a live and I was doing like a challenge. You're motivated and firing on all cylinders, yeah. But I made it harder for myself than it needed to be. Hello, Abby, welcome back. I made it harder than it needed to be, like, because for like Jace, he was just trying to just do it as quickly as he could, and his strategy was to do 25 of the squats, and then have a bit of a break, and then another 25. I think that's a better idea than to try and crank out 50 in one consecutive a lot, because you're going to have a lot of cumulative fatigue from that, from the, all the lactic acid buildup. Then you're going to need a lot of resting time after that. So it's going to be a lot of, quite taxing on the system. So I think it made it a lot longer than it had to be, but I wanted to make a proper challenge for myself, and but then I didn't realize how hard it was actually going to be. So yeah, I was like, maybe I should have just done the, two 25s on the squats for the set, just to kind of like, have a little break, and then, like say, like do 25, a bit of a break, and then another 25, and then do the 50 on the crunches. So yeah, that's just something I learned from that, and just kind of, like, if I did it again, then I would do that, because it would make it a lot more, fun to do, because that was not fun trying to get, that like 50 reps in one go, because you start to feel like, fuck, this is, you're starting to feel like, that fatigue, that, you're getting that sort of lactic acid burn and all that, and it's after about 25, 30 reps, and you're like, why the hell am I even doing this? It just isn't even fun anymore. You're starting to kind of really feel that fatigue building up, and yeah. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Like I said, I did a challenge earlier, and yeah, it's good to challenge yourself sometimes and see what you're capable of, and just yeah. But it's just that with this Jace guy who's like 50 years old, he's almost going to be 51 years old, and the guy's fucking shredded. Like, the guy's literally like, you should see his abs. They're like washboard abs, like, and he's like nearly 51 years old. Hello, Donald. Yeah, like nearly 51 years old, and he's got washboard abs, and I'm like, fucking hell, like, I should be like that as well, I mean, I've got some definition coming through, but it's like not like what he has. But yeah, I've been trying to strengthen up my abs, and try to do things with the proper technique, and but yeah, a lot of it's just learning, form and things like that, to make sure that you're actually hitting the muscles that you're trying to train. And yeah, but I've noticed a lot of improvements. I'm improving a lot when it comes to things like dips and push-ups and things like that. I've been improving with the rows and all these different exercises. My capacity is a lot better, and yeah, But I think another thing is I'm more designed for like shorter bursts. I think like I tend to be better when it comes to like shorter duration stuff rather than longer, more sort of endurance sort of exercise really. But yeah, lifting heavier muscles doesn't mean you're healthy. Yeah, I know. What's your point? Like like people will do what they'll do. I'm not trying to get some huge muscles. I just want to get, good shape. And, you know, I know so many heavy smokers and drinkers that have good muscles. Yeah. So what's your point? Like, yeah. Are you just some like hater or something that's just jealous of someone who's actually trying to do something good for themselves? It's like, yeah, of course, there's, some of them have bad habits and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it's better than just being sedentary and smoking as well. I mean, then it's just even worse then. So you just really have no point. Like you're just like you just sound very kind of like yeah. The haters could never keep up with you. Yeah, pretty much. It's amazing how good some people's muscles are when they smoke and drink a lot. Really. So what you're saying that smoking and drinking a lot can get you big muscles? I mean, actually, I've heard that drinking alcohol can actually reduce the amount of muscle that you can build, and it has to do with like the yeah, well, it's a lot of it's to do with like the stress that it puts on the system, and Jay says the aspiring physique, yeah, exactly, especially that with his age, he's like 50 years old. I'm saying this is one of the things that I noticed. Oh, really? Maybe it's just like a correlation. Hello, Jace. So yeah, what's going on? Like, what about a vape? So this guy saying that about smokers, about a lot of smokers being muscular and all that. He was saying being lifting heavy and having muscle doesn't make you healthy. Well, by itself, I mean obviously like some people can have bad habits. They can eat shitty foods and stuff, and but of course, yeah, if you go too heavy and then like, if you're taking steroids and stuff like that, like I made a video about this before about like how, I've talked about like how building too much muscle can actually be counter to your health. It can actually impact other aspects, like you can become, kind of rigid and just kind of, yeah, it can actually be putting a lot of strain on your heart and all your organs and stuff. So I was just talking, Jess, about like how I could have actually done the challenge a lot quicker if I wanted to, but because the way I structured it out, I definitely made it a challenge for myself. But yeah, like I should have done two 25s, and yeah, I would have made it a lot quicker. It would have meant I would have rested a lot less and be able to get straight back into it because that cumulative fatigue, once you get past about 25 to 30 reps, that's when it really starts to, like you said, that's when you start to get that fatigue and that lactic acid. So yeah, it's just I could have probably smashed it out in half the time that I did, probably because the amount of rest I was resting more than I was actually like doing it. So yeah, but yeah, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. That would be really appreciated. So yeah, just keep the chat flowing. So yeah, I could have actually probably enjoyed it more actually, even if I did that, because wouldn't have just done all these like high rep squats. It just gets a bit kind of tedious after a while, really, doesn't it? But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Share this out if you can. That would be great. But yeah, yeah, fatigue does tell that it's why I broke it up. 30 mins will be at the benchmark now, though. I did push, and thanks to the inspiration. Oh yeah, well that's it. It's just and like you already did some, and that's the thing is, especially when you've already done a workout earlier today. Because all I've done earlier, I did do some like star jumps this morning. I did 5 rounds of 50. I think I did something like that. Actually, I think one of them was 40, one of them was 60. But yeah, I did about 250 star jumps this morning. But yeah, I haven't really done any actual like other than that, not really done any like resistance stuff. I've just kind of save the challenge tonight, and just trying to. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. But like you said, you have to really kind of just commit to it. You have to really, you can't just be like taking multiple days off, and because then you're just gonna halt your progress. Then you're not, it's just. Yeah, it's all about consistency is key, isn't it? Just like anything, like for example, if you're trying to play an instrument and you're taking days off, you're gonna slow down the progress. It's common sense, really, isn't it? So yeah, but yeah, that's the thing with like saying with the fatigue and all that with the and you get in like say so many reps in and you're just like oh god, this is getting like you're getting towards like you're kind of where you're starting to slow down, like for the first 25 30 reps I can go really fast, and you're not really kind of getting to that point where you're really slowing down, and each rep starts to slow down, and you're like, and then afterwards you're having to like rest a load so you'd be able to perform at higher intensity without taking as much rest by just kind of breaking it up. So yeah, hello fellows, yeah, how you doing? What's that? I did 2 full lives before that, but it feels good now. The morning may be a different story. Yeah, maybe, yeah, if you really feel quite actually when I got off I was actually a bit like with I think it was in my right leg, I was feeling a bit achy, and I was like, oh god, but it's gone away now. So yeah, it was just a bit kind of, I think what it was, when I was doing the crunches, I was feeling kind of uncomfortable when I was doing that because when you were telling me to like, because after the first set I was doing them, I was like, I started to like, change like my leg position, and I was making it in a kind of like, because I'd done the squats and I'd like burnt my legs up with the squats, and then yeah. I'm about 6'4". Why? Anyway, welcome in everybody. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. That'd be really appreciated. So yeah, just keep chatting, people. Yeah, thank you for the likes. Let's get the likes. We got 8 people watching, 5 likes. Come on, let's yeah. No M642. Oh yeah, really. What's your weight then, if you don't mind? Dale, cold showers help the brain mostly. It's focus based, and it was Leo said so. Jacob, Colby, Sinky, and the Burpee Reaper, all Burpee masters. Oh yeah. I've seen what's he called? Leo said so. Yeah, I was seeing. Yeah, he was doing the burpees. Yeah, yeah. So just it's just about kind of. It's not just about like your athleticism, but also like your tactics, your strategy, whatever we call it. Like your strategy to like kind of break things up in a certain way to make it so that you got to know what your limits are. Like maybe over time you're able to like, increase it to 50 reps because you've got to the point where you can handle that without getting the lactic acid. But it's like if in each rep, in each set, I mean, but you got to find where that sweet spot is, where you're like, where you still feel kind of like you've got some in the tank, and you're like, and you just go into the next thing. You're going to like the step, there's the crunches, and by then so you don't even really need any rest between that, and then you can just get straight back into the so you like supersetting basically, and then you just do the 25 and then a little rest, another 25. So we break it up, and it could be a lot quicker then. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well tonight anyway. But yeah, you were saying now you got one of the strongest cores on YouTube. Well, it seems like that, and especially someone at your age, it's like. And you've only been doing it 6 months, but it just goes to show if you focus heavily on something for an extended period of time, then you'll get results like. And yeah, it's quite surprising that someone did 6 months. I mean, some people think that like, oh no, it takes years and years to like build a physique, and it's like, and you're past what a lot of people would consider as prime for building muscle, and you've managed to be able to do that. I've done 2,000 in 1 hour 25 live. Is that setups or which ones? But you managed to like hi roulette profit and stop. What's your name? I've been doing 3 exercise then a short break, then moving on to the next set of 3, right? Is that like a sort of like circuit training type of thing, you mean? Anyway, welcome in everybody. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. That would be really appreciated. Yeah, try and get this shared out, everybody, if you can. Oh, sit-ups. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sit-ups mainly, right? But if you focus on that a lot, then yeah, you get the abs popping out. Hello, B. How you doing? You all right? Clark says my bro is 6 foot, but he can bench, press 75 kg dumbbells. What is that? 75 in each hand? Do you mean? Yeah. Is that 75 in each hand or 75 in total? That would be crazy if they can actually do 75 in each hand, because not many people can do that unless they're on steroids. I mean 25 kgs, because with dumbbell presses it's actually more difficult than a bench press because it's unilateral. There's a lot more stability involved in it, and yeah, I mean that would be like 150 total, and even a lot of people can't even do that. And in a bench press, at 6 foot tall. But yeah, I think Kino Body said he did 380 pounds. It was his 1 rep max, but he said he didn't want to go to 400 because he felt like it was probably going to cause injuries or something. But yeah, it's very rare for like naturals to get up to like a 400 bench. But yeah, which would be about 180 kg, I think. But which, if you can do like 150 bench press, a dumbbell press, then you can probably do like 200 kg like bench press, which would be crazy numbers. Because if you look at like the statistics on, because I saw this video, like they were saying now, if you can do 22 times 22 dumbbell press, you can do 60 bench press. You said you'd ordered the 3 kg weights after having 2 kgs for a while. Yeah, just like up it, hoping that it will get me more muscle and increase my reps. Yeah, that's it. It's about progressive overload. Yeah. I'll do it in the Greg Doucette voice. Harder than friggin' last time! All these people on fucking steroids and they're half-assing their fucking training. All this science this, science that. And they won't go harder than friggin' last time. Yeah. Anyway, so I was just asking you earlier, Jess, because I know you said about you had some issues with your back or something, or was it your shoulders? I can't remember what you said it were, but do you not train that at all then or something? Because you do look like you have quite a developed back, actually, but just wondering what you do for that, because obviously it won't develop on its own. Like there needs to be some stimulus there for it to develop. So obviously some people have different genetics and whatever, but generally speaking, like you need a stimulus to actually grow a muscle, unless you're on some kind of even on gear, like you have to train the muscle. The thing is that people like think that if you're on gear, that your muscles will just grow like magic, but no, that's not the case, is it? He's crazy strong and loves gym, right? But 75 kilos in each hand, is that right? Not many naturals can do that. In fact, I mean, how many naturals could do 75 in each hand? I mean, unless the guy's like, I don't know if he's like one of these kind of like power lifter kind of guys who's like got quite a big belly. Because they tend to like be able to do more because they're like, their leverages, they've got more padding, so that when they're lowering the bar down or the dumbbells, it's like it's not going as far down. Like there's kind of Overview press sets work back muscles with good form variations are the key, and hand placement becomes important. Yeah, well, there's scapular push-ups, which are like, I suppose, yes, there's a one called the scapular push-ups, which are like partial reps at the top when you just kind of focus on on the on the contraction in the back, which is like in like the middle of the back. But yeah, you could do lat pullover, and there's things like lat pullovers, but that's for weights though. But yeah, like there's how's it going, Robin? Opinions on psychedelics? I mean, I've heard like things like mushrooms and stuff. I mean, some people I remember like talking with someone who's actually had experiences on it, and supposedly it can open up your mind to things and make you kind of think things that you never would have thought before. Like it would make a lot of people question the reality, and yeah, it gives you a different perspective on things apparently. But I've heard it can also help with like depression and anxiety and things like that, perhaps. Hello, hamster. How you doing? What's funny? Yeah. Buy my freaking cookbook! Yeah. So that's my Greg Doucette impression. Yeah. What do you think of that? I don't know if anyone watches that guy, but yeah. Ask about psychedelics. Oh yeah, I know. But for real though, I've heard that they do have some supposed therapeutic use. I've heard it can even help with things like migraines and cluster headaches if used in the right way, but I'm not an expert on that. But Robin says mushrooms specifically are 100% legit, right? Yeah, you just gotta look into it for yourself. I'm not here to try and tell people what works and what doesn't work. Just yeah. So yeah, welcome in everybody. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. So apparently 14 people. Who are these people? Are they lurkers or something, or what's going on? But yeah, it's been quite cold. Is it started to snow? I don't know if we're getting any snow yet, but I'll just have a look and see what's going on. Don't think it's because we were supposed to get some snow tonight or something, but don't think we're getting any yet. So I'm just wondering, like, don't see anything. Yeah, because that happens a lot with the forecasts and stuff, where it'll say something and then half the time it doesn't even happen the way that they said it was going to happen. Most of the time, I would say it doesn't happen. But yeah, it's not even like started to do any like raining or any. Oh, hang on, I see something. Looks like because I look at the light and I can see something's happening. There's something like don't whether it's rain or snow or whatever, but it's hard to tell. But yeah, it's quite light, whatever it is. So yeah, raining down in the southeast. So yeah, it's a bit warmer down there, isn't it? Hello. Midlands to die, right? Midlands to die. We've got another guy from the Midlands in the chat, haven't we? Hello, Foxy. What's up? Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, it's snow in Scotland. Oh, yeah. Looks like we're getting something, whatever it might just be rain at the moment, but I'm not too sure. It's hard to tell, but yeah. But maybe it'll turn to snow as it gets colder or something, but I don't know, but yeah. Maybe I'll wake up and there's like a blanket of snow everywhere. But it's just that I'm supposed to be like, well, maybe meeting up with someone in Leeds on Wednesday. But she was like saying that basically she might not be able to make it if like it's snowing, because then the transport might be cancelled and then it won't be able to happen. So yeah, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to go live, but maybe I could get her to help out with it or something, and we could film it. But yeah, this has literally got cold today. Like yesterday, it was fine, but suddenly the temperatures just plummeted overnight. I find that can happen a lot in November when it just like the temperature just suddenly drops off like a cliff, like literally overnight. So yeah, there's nothing really going on here. I think it's just having like a little drizzle or whatever at the moment. I don't know if it's snow or rain or whatever. But what it actually kind of looks like it's coming down quite slow, so it could be like small snowflakes or something. I mean, but I do like to kind of watch the snow sometimes. I don't know what it is. I just quite like to. I don't know. I like seeing it accumulate on the on the ground, and yeah, just seeing that kind of transformation of the going from like clear to like just like having snow everywhere, and it's like yeah, but it's like because we don't get it all the time here, so when it happens, it's like all right, it's a bit different, but yeah. Jamie, you're in trouble. My diet is about to go out the window. I'm hungry now. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, White Christmas, isn't it? Let us look, please. Yeah, there's really nothing to see. Like, there really is like absolutely nothing to see at the moment. Like, yeah, you wouldn't really be able to see it on camera. It's just literally when I'm looking at like like the street light and you can see the like when you can see the because it's like the light reflecting sort of thing and yeah, but yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. That'll be that song, is it? I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Okay, stop being stupid, Donald. Anyway, but yeah, anyway, nice to meet you, Foxy. So what was your name again? I know, yeah, Zenas, that's your, yeah, that's, hang on, Zena. Is it Zena or Zena? Hang on, I'm getting confused now. Is it your dog, isn't it? Yeah. Um, yeah, what's up, everybody? Midlands today says, would you make a snowman if it comes down mental? I don't know. I don't even really even know how to properly build one, to be honest. I guess it's not that hard, is it? But I don't know. I guess I don't know. I've never really. I remember like doing it a bit when I was a kid. Was like my grandmother. I used to live with my grandmother, and if it snowed really heavy, then we'd do that. I think we actually did it once in. I remember like I think what happened, right? We went out for like New Year's Eve one year. We went to like I think it was near Preston somewhere, and then on the way back it was like snowing really really bad, and then we got back and it was like still snowing, and then like we actually was like built a snowman, and yeah, that night. But then by about like midnight, it had stopped, and then by morning, like most of it had gone. Like that tend to happen a lot where it could snow really heavy, and then by morning it'd be gone. Like if it starts raining or whatever, or if the sun hits it, then it can go pretty quickly. Like I've seen literally go from like having 3-4 inches of snow to then like a few hours later nothing. It's just all melted up. Yeah, so yeah, we would get that. We would get like so. I used to live in Blackburn, and there was quite a lot of hills around there, and especially if you was up on like the high ground, like up on the moors, up on the tops, up on the high roads, and they'll be getting like drifts up there, and they'd be like and then it would be like getting snow like weeks and weeks after it had melted everywhere else, because it would be staying colder up there. It's more exposed, and so like whereas down in the cities where there's more heat and more, obviously you got a lot of like cars just going past and just like constantly melting the snow. But yeah, always got super cold hands. Oh yeah, my hands get a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start wearing gloves, I think. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I should wear gloves really, because I was like put my freaking hands in my pockets. It kind of looks stupid, and it doesn't even work that well. It's like, yeah, it kind of helps a little bit, but you still get a bit of the cold to it, and it's not very nice. So what I was noticing is, because my extremities would get cold, like they would start going red, but like not only that, but my skin would start to kind of go dry and start to break up. So I need to make sure that I'm keeping my extremities warm. I remember I used to go on like long bike rides and stuff in the cold freaking weather, and like, yeah, and because like I was not really, I wasn't really like dressed up properly for it. I should have put like thick socks on. And I was like, my feet, that would be like absolutely freezing, because when you're like, I think because to do with the circulation, because when you're like walking around, like it's helping to get that blood pumping more, and but when you're on a bike ride and your extremities tend to get cold a lot easier, I find. Oh yeah, bye. Yeah, take care. Yeah, yeah, take care, Jace. Have a good one. I'll see you. Are you on in the morning? Are you on? Will you be on in the morning? Surprised you didn't get. What's that? Pun money or whatever. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Do you two know each other then, or is it just like because you both happen to be from the Midlands? But yeah, I don't know if we're getting any snow yet or what, but well, if we are, then it's not sticking. So it'd be good to try and film the actual snow if we get it, but maybe in the morning I'll show you guys what it looks like. But yeah, well, that cold thing. Are you on about the? Yeah, you're on about the well, there's a thing called Raynaud's syndrome or something, and like red hands and red extremities and all that. But I always put it down to like just because I'm tall, it makes it worse, because my extremities are that far away from my core. Like my body will try to prioritize heat to the vital organs, so they don't shut down when it's really cold. But so what you have to do is just wrap up really warm. I tend to find that my body stays pretty warm generally, but it's the extremities that get cold. Those are the only parts of my body that usually get cold. So yeah, it's just about wear gloves and things like that. Maybe if I go like say like long bike rides in the cold weather, and just wear gloves so that I don't like So I used to do that. Yeah, because I remember like I used to go for like even like to college on my bike, and it was only like just over a mile away, but I wouldn't wear gloves, and it was like excruciatingly painful. And I would get inside the college, and then because I'm just suddenly in a warm environment, and I have all that blood rushing back to the hands, it was absolutely awful. Having all that blood, it feels like it feels almost like your hands are being like, it's like it's just gonna push right through and just like pull it all apart. It just feels awful. Yeah, it's absolute like horrible. But but it is what it is. It's just kind of stupid. But there's people going through worse shit though. Like I said, there's always someone worse off. Like I said in the video, all these freaking first world problems. People complain about, people start panicking when there's like a little bit of snow on the ground, there's an inch of snow, panic, and they'll freak out. and then they're like freaking out over, some little minor inconvenience. Hello, Athena. How you doing? You all right? Welcome in here. How's your day been? Yeah, welcome to my live. I can't spell it, but sounds like new Molnar year. What do you mean, new Molnar year? What are you talking about, new Molnar year? I don't know. Is it some cold speak or something? But yeah, so has anyone got any snow then or anything? Or looks like we're getting some now, actually. I'll try and see if I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see out there. But we're actually getting some now, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's actual. I think it's snow, but yeah, I think it's snowing now, guys. But yeah, we're not getting any stickage yet. I don't think so. Might take a while until it starts to really build up, and yeah. Can anybody spell it for me? IT. Yeah, you told me to spell it. So that was like one of these like trick things where it's like Constantinople is a long word, spell it. And I tried to spell the word Constantinople, but it was like one of those. It's like when they say, what is it? Yellow houses are made from yellow bricks. Red houses are made from red bricks. Brown houses are made from brown bricks. What are green houses made from? And then people might say green bricks. And it's like, no, they're made from glass. But I guess it's a trick question because it could be both. But it's just funny to hear them say green bricks. It's sunny and 70 where I'm at. Well, yeah, where are you at, Athena? Did you say you're in Texas or something? But I'll try and see if I can show you the. It's hard to see because of the reflection. So yeah, it's just but yeah, there's nothing really much going on at the moment. It's just a bit of lightly snowing, I think. But yeah, we'll see what it's like in the next few minutes or whatever. But yeah, is it snowing hard? No, it's just doing a little bit. What is it like where you are? You haven't got any yet, but it's supposed to get some, isn't it? Like tonight where you are, I think. That's what Jace was saying anyway. But yeah. But it'd be interesting to see what happens, and are we going to actually get any covering? But good thing is I've not really got anything planned for tomorrow anyway, so it's not really a big deal if because I did this volunteer thing on Tuesday, but they've actually cancelled tomorrow's session anyway, so that's not going to be on. So yeah, probably going to be doing a lot of lives again. Maybe we'll do some workout tomorrow. Might do some more dips and things like that. So I've been getting a little bit better with the dips. Maybe try some pull-ups. And it's just satisfying when you see the progress, and then you start to actually enjoy the exercises more because you start to become more conditioned for them. When you first start and you're really struggling to even get a single rep, then it really sucks, doesn't it? But when you're starting to get better and it's like, okay, it's starting to kind of become like a walk in the park for me now. So it's like, then it becomes more satisfying. So it's just about trusting the process and embracing the process and learning to enjoy the process that you're seeing things are getting better and better every time. You're getting stronger, you're getting fitter, yeah. What was you gonna? I was gonna do this volunteer place, but they've cancelled the session anyway. But if it's snowing, then they'll probably just cancel it anyway. But I don't know. But I was not going to be going anywhere. But we're just gonna. I will still be going live anyway. But yeah, it's that thing at a nature reserve that they do, and they have they do some kind of physical stuff like chopping things down, scything and things like that. So it's quite physical type of stuff. Sometimes we use loppers to chop things, and sometimes we'll be we'll do dragging things around. So it's actually can actually be a good workout just doing that stuff actually. British, is that what you do? What's that whole it's not I fall over, what do you mean? Meant to be nice. Must be nice to see snow. Yeah, do you not see snow where you are? Not snow. South Carolina. South Carolina. It ain't snowed here in years. I'm guessing it must do up in like. It'd be more like Georgia, won't it? I think. Yeah, because they have like mountains there. That's like the bottom of the Appalachian Mountains, and apparently it snows quite a lot up there sometimes because they're up on like the high ground. Um, when it gets to like above say like 1,000 meters, and it's like that's where it gets snows quite a bit up there, I've heard. But like the lower elevations, like Florida, I've heard very rarely snows, and yeah, yeah. I think Atlanta, like they don't really snow that much, but it does occasionally. But yeah, there was like this freak thing where it snowed in Las Vegas, which is like really, really rare. You would never expect it to do it there. But what are you guys' thoughts on like geoengineering and these sort of things? Because I don't even know if the weather's even natural anymore. Like it doesn't seem quite right sometimes. Like the weather's just been just feels like it's been unnaturally warm and then it just suddenly changed. But I've noticed it's been doing that the last few years where it feels like it's just unusually warm or unusually cold for the time of year. Hello, Jason. What's up? So I'm just wondering, yeah, what you guys think is, people going about like chemtrails and things like that, and what are your old thoughts on these things? Is there any? You couldn't pay me to live in New York. Oh yeah, New York would be yeah, nah. Hello, Sir Richard the Lionheart. Totally geoengineering. Oh yeah. The sun seemed a weird color over summer. Oh yeah, it's just something just doesn't seem right. Like all through October and then up to like through part of November, like the temperatures have just been really unusually quite warm for the time of year. Like it's almost been like summer weather up to like literally only a few days ago, and literally even yesterday it was really not that bad, and then suddenly it's just dropped off today. Like it's literally dropped off probably almost like 10 degrees just in one day. Yeah. I mean, it's just really noticeably colder today, like than it was yesterday. Yeah, so it's just yeah, but we'll see what happens with this snow. There was all these like panics, all these news things where it's like, oh, there's going to be like 3 foot of snow or some crap like that. It's like, yeah, whatever. They always make these sensationalist headlines. You can't trust what you see in the news because all they're doing is just trying to grab people's attention with exaggerated claims. And I heard that the reason we have so many hurricanes is because the military testing weapons in the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, that I would not be surprised. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like dodgy crap going on, and there's even things like cloud seeding operations going on. Like, I remember when I was in Paris once, and there was we were on this like trip, and we had this like guided tour bus thing, and basically they were like, there was this cloud factory. Basically they were saying, oh, it's about to get rain over Paris, and but the argument is that what it could be doing is causing disruptions in the weather in other places. Like if you try to cause rain in one place, it might cause a drought in some other place. So when you're trying to play God and trying to mess with nature, then it can have unintended consequences. I grew up in a military base, so yeah, I mean, obviously that could be a part of it, and there's different reasons why it can be happening, but it's like you hear all these people talking about climate change, but you never really hear them talking about, like the elephant in the room about geoengineering programs and whether that could be contributing to that. But the thing is that also another thing that they try to like shame people for like using, like non-renewable energy and all this kind of crap, and it's like, but it's like, but then you get these like biggest offenders who are like trying to virtue signal about being so eco-friendly, but then these people never call them out for their hypocrisy. It's like you get these people like Leonardo DiCaprio going on about being so eco-friendly and all that, but yet you'll see them on their expensive yachts and things like that. So it's just like, it's like they're just kind of trying to insult people's intelligence that they think that people are stupid enough to really kind of think that, that they're actually virtuous, and because it's like they're all just like laughing. They're like in their private jets, they're on their yachts, some of the most things that are bad for the environment. And it's like, but yet you've got all these peasants or whatever that are just, the average person really isn't, going to be contributing that much to the, carbon footprint, whatever. It's mainly going to be like your corporations and all your, all your kind of, it's like, it's not actually any of our fault. It's just, and yeah, but there's people try to like make you be like, feel like you have to be responsible for it, but these people never get held accountable. So, but then there's like geoengineering, and no one seems to want to talk about that, and it's like, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on that's like, things could be done. Like there could be, for example, they could grow more hemp and more trees and things to. But the thing is that I don't think the carbon itself really is going to make that big of a difference, because you'll see how the trees have gotten greener over the years. That like there's, people go on about deforestation and all that, but the thing is, trees love, the plants love CO2. They grow on CO2, and so actually, it actually helps the nature to become greener. So yeah. Oh yeah, you take care, Abby. Yeah, not too bad, thank you, Max. I did a challenge earlier. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily good to be like pumping out loads of CO2 in like cities and things like that. I personally don't think that like that cities are designed very well. They're too kind of densely kind of packed, and it causes a lot of congestion. It causes a lot of issues, and air quality is an issue. So I do agree with like the environmentalists listen that air quality is a problem. But yeah, there needs to be more I guess more greenery in the cities to help to offset that. But when it comes to like the countryside, there's a lot of stuff there to kind of take up the excess. But yeah, a lot of it's just having more greenery in the cities. Like there's just this concrete jungle, and yeah, happy birthday, Mags. Yeah. Oh yeah, you take care. But yeah, basically, they should, like hopefully, they start to have more like, say, things growing in the, like more kind of things like, you'll see like, like gardening on the like side of buildings, for example, and make things more green. And any of the excess CO2 will just be taken up, almost like instantly by that. It won't be, sort of stagnant in the air. It's snowing. Oh yeah, where are you at, Eddie? You're in What did you say you are? It's snowing a little bit here, but it's not sticking yet, I don't think. Yeah. Anyway, welcome in everybody. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. But yeah, I do agree that air quality is is an issue, and it's not just carbon. It's obviously things like petrol and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's snowing out. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look at, it's just that I've got the reflection and all that, but I can't. Yeah, but it's just kind of snowing quite lightly at the moment. So yeah. Anyway, that's Leeds. Oh, really? Yeah, I think it gets a bit worse in Leeds, doesn't it? Yeah, it's just kind of it's just doing a bit of a light snow at the moment, but I don't think any of it's sticking. Is it so it's sticking then over it? Is it? Yeah. Anyway, they'll be sometimes I'll go and type on YouTube and it'll a certain location and it'll show and say snow, and they'll be it'll show live footage of it or some recent video. I don't know why I like that. Maybe it's just my autism or something. I just like seeing the different kind of how it is in different places, how it compares, and yeah. Hello Kiki, how you doing? What's up? It's quite bad here. It's sold really, yeah. It must get. I think it gets worse sometimes in Leeds. Probably because they're maybe a bit higher up and more hills and kind of more. You get a lot off the hills up on, especially at places like Otley and Ilkley and places like that where it's quite high up. It'll get it quite bad up there, I reckon. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's just kind of it's not settling here at the moment. So, but yeah, it tends not to really get that bad here. Tends to be kind of. You also mean trying to scare him, or what do you mean? Hello, King Groove. Good to see you again. How have you been? The Gritters have been out, really. All right. So Eddie, will you be able to meet on Wednesday or something, or just wondering I might be meeting somebody, might be doing my street performance. Yeah. So my plan's to go out. Hopefully, if it doesn't snow, then I'll be out on Wednesday and doing my magic. Because if you don't already know, guys, I'm actually a magician. Are you off now, Eddie? But yeah. Hello, Michael Beale. You become a UFC fan? No, I've not. I'm not into UFC. Yeah. You're a UFC. You're you fucking cunt. Nah, I really don't care, to be honest. I don't know, I'm just kind of into my own shit, really. Yeah. I don't know why, but I've been watching a bunch of fucking bullshit, fucking YouTube drama and shit like that, Yeah, I don't know. Watching stuff on downfall of certain YouTubers and TikTokers and whatever. I don't even know why I'm even watching that shit, to be honest. No days off, right? I want to see you outside in the snow doing pull-ups. Oh God, yeah, that would be. Yeah, maybe I could try it with the gloves on. Yeah. I might try pull-ups with gloves on and see if I can do more reps, because it might just make it a little bit more comfortable. Do you think you could get on with the Just James if you could meet him? I think you would. Yeah, I think I'd have to try and kind of try to sort of kind of try to bring him round to just the kind of more optimistic kind of view on things, and because he could have really gotten himself somewhere like with. It's just that he has this kind of mindset on things that I think has held him back, and I think it would just be a shame if he just like lived the rest of his life, not reaching his full potential. It's like I think he needs to like maybe look into things like psycho-cybernetics and sort out his self-image, because I think that's what's holding him back. A little disappointed about not being a UFC fan. Really, I mean, whatever. Like, it's like I'm not into football. I'm not into any sports at all, to be honest. I'm not a sporty person, really. I like to do fitness, like I just did a fitness challenge, but I'm really not interested in watching other people play sport. It's just not something I have any interest in. Um, in fact, I actually think the last time I played football even was like over a year ago, but I would not watch football. But yeah, starting to know a little bit more now, I think, but still not doing much. So yeah, I don't think it's sticking at all, really. So yeah, but we'll see what it's like in the morning. UFC is a disgrace to MMA. Why is that then? Was that MMA is like is that like kickboxing or something? Is it a bit like it's like taekwondo sort of thing? I remember there was like taekwondo was in like the Olympic Games. I remember seeing that a while ago, but I haven't even seen Olympic Games for a long time. I did watch a bit of Olympics when it was on in London. Um, but yeah, I remember like the volleyball, and there was like the freaking yeah, yeah. You had the was it beach volleyball? It can be quite fun to watch with the you have some nice yeah. They tend to have some nice booty, don't they? Those yeah, doing the beach volleyball. MMA is the sport that occurs at UFC events. I'm getting confused now. So you said UFC is a disgrace to MMA. What you're saying is that UFC is like kind of doesn't really kind of do MMA justice or something like that. I mean, right, right. I mean, I've heard of like UFC, but I didn't really ever know what it even truly was like. I thought it was like boxing or something or whatever. But yeah, it's like there's like kickboxing but MMA is like mixed discipline or something. I mean, but yeah, it's just it is what it is. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be into all this shit. Who knows? Sometimes I'll get into some new interest or something, but the mixed martial arts, yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, that's what MMA stands for, yeah. Maybe I should try and get into some kind of martial arts to like, for self-defense purposes. And the thing is, it's like, shouldn't this stuff be taught in schools? Some argue. But then my argument would be like, I don't know like what you think about this, but let's say if you got taught self-defense, this is kind of more pragmatic, thinking that what if you got taught self-defense and then people would have to kind of learn how to counter self-defense, if you get me. So then they would figure out a way to overcome it, or would it get to a point where they wouldn't be able to overcome. I think I remember having a debate on this a while ago, but yeah, just wonder what you guys think, because would teaching self-defense be like a net positive, or would it just make like the aggressors have to just learn to adapt? is there always going to be a way to adapt to things? Okay, well, I carry a gun for self-defense. It's rather them or me at the end of the day. Well, I suppose, yeah, because we don't have guns here, and some argue that we shouldn't have guns here because they would probably just end up killing each other or something, but I don't know, but that could be some propaganda. But I think the problem is that with guns and stuff, that it's like people argue about banning guns or not, but we should be more focusing on prevention rather than, in terms of like, from more of like the mental health side of things, as well as dealing with poverty, for example, because if you look at most crimes, they come from either poverty or from some mental health issues somewhere, and a lot of it is just not being addressed. So if we can tackle those things, you probably look at like, eliminating almost all crime. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but if we can try to, help people with mental health issues, and also like if there's someone that you kind of profile as having mental health issues, then we can kind of like make sure to prevent them, and if they start to be showing any red flag behaviors, then we would kind of like quarantine them before they have any chance to actually act on it. But then when it comes to like poverty and things like that, there's a lot of crimes happen because people are desperate, and then they end up stealing, and then they get put behind bars because they're just trying to feed their family, for example, or something. And so of course that's not always the case, but yeah, I know guns don't kill people, but if someone wants to harm people, they will find a way to do it. I mean, I agree with that. It's just we need to kind of like focus more on like the mental health, as well as just kind of being very sort of things like screening people for like mental health, and to try and get them the help that they need. And if they can't be helped, to try and basically prevent them from actually being a risk to society before they actually are able to actually act on it. So yeah, like certain people, like if there can be like, if they're actually like, can be, if they get tested for things to see if they're actually a psychopath, that like to kind of like do some kind of like test on them to see how they would react to certain things in a controlled environment, to see if they actually pass the test of being a psychopath. Or they could basically like stage something to kind of like see if they'll, act in ways that are psychotic, where you could like basically kind of like some kind of operation where like, how you get these people that get found out of being like predators and stuff, but you could just find out if they're like psychopaths through like sort of some kind of like test. You would set up something to like to see how they, if they actually have any kind of empathy whatsoever, that if they actually don't care about people at all, like set up some fake scenario, like it would be some kind of staged thing. That I don't know if that's even practical, but what's this? There's a book about this screening people with MH and deleting them. Any with any mental health or deleted. Well, that sounds fucked up. I don't think we should be like killing people because they've got mental health. I mean, but there is actually, it can get quite Orwellian though, where it's like there's stuff about like with how the government wants to like really affect people. Yeah, it's starting to snow heavier now, but yeah. They're trying to like, get more involved in people's lives. So I could see that as being quite corrupt. And but I don't know. That's the issue of it, though. If we have like screening for mental health and sociopathy and things like that, and narcissism, because like they it's like it's not 100%, and they might because like the whole thing of like them trying to predict when people might do a crime, where if they've got like everybody on record and they can like get into the database and like I don't know if there's been a film about this or something. It sounds like something that would be in some movie where everybody's got like like their data is not private and all that, and they're yeah negative tendencies or ideas, etc. Right? Everyone has issues in England, right? I mean, I wouldn't say everybody. I suppose everybody has some kind of issue, you could say. That would never be allowed because you would find that people who would fail the neurological screenings would overlap with the race to a huge extent. It would be called racist. Yeah, this is the thing I've heard about, like, because there's this thing about, let's say, men from certain backgrounds having higher testosterone, therefore more predisposed to criminal behavior. They say that that's one of the potential reasons, but of course that's not the only reason. I think that gang culture is a big thing that has contributed. Like it's you've got that in this country as well with like the urban cultures where they're especially places like London with a lot of knife crime and things like that, and yeah, so it's so if we're like to, but it's just that this whole kind of like then there's this argument like the libertarian sort of like just like that they might disagree with that, in that we shouldn't be like trying to to be kind of invading on people's privacy, and my comment got filtered. Oh, for fuck's sake, is it filtering comments on here, is it? Fucking hell. So we're filtering comments on TikTok or something like that. Maybe it's in like old chat. You've got top chat and then you've got old chat or something, but yeah, because of testosterone. I mean, yeah, like if you have more testosterone, you tend to be more aggressive, and that could be playing a part. But generally, tends to be some kind of trigger with things. It's like, yeah, someone could have high testosterone, but I don't think it's necessarily an excuse for bad behavior. Unless your testosterone's like crazy high. So I've heard like these guys on steroids and stuff, and then they use that as an excuse for like roid rage and doing some kind of freakish behavior. There was this guy called like Dr. Mike Israetel. He's like this like big bodybuilder, and he's on all these steroids, and he's talks about all these issues that he has with like like all these thoughts that he gets about wanting to basically end people's lives. And just for making a mean comment, he has like this quite sort of it can turn you into like almost like a dark triad. Never seen you this motivated before. I see a fire in your eyes, brother. Yeah. Well, that's it. You just gotta. It's like now or never kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, if I'm not gonna do it now, then when am I ever gonna do it? When am I ever gonna do the grind? Stop putting things off. Yeah, it's snowing a bit heavier now. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll try and. I'm gonna like turn the light out. Maybe then you'll see it, but try and just show you what we're getting now. I don't know if you can see that, but just look at the light. It's hard to really get on camera, but But yeah, it's not really picking it up on camera. But yeah, it is snowing now. But it's just yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't started sticking yet. But the thing is, if it doesn't start sticking, then the ground starts getting wet. Then it's a lot harder for it to stick after that. But yeah. All right, Susanna, how you doing? um, we heard about Jose Antonio. I thought you were Susanna. Hang on, what's going on? So are you Susanna or are you Jose? Or is that the place that you're from, Jose Antonio? I'm getting confused. I think it's fair to say that the grind has started. Yeah, it's the winter arc, you know. yeah, the winter arc has started, you know. That's what it is. You've pulled. Oh yeah, we're the winter arc in it, you know. Oh wow, it's like 10 to 11. Fuck me. Like what Gordon Ramsay's like. Fuck me. Yeah. But yeah, so you should get on the winter arc as well, Dale. I think you said you've already started, haven't you? Yeah. Literally, you do the winter arc and you'll be surprised how much your results you can make if you really dial in and lock in, as they'd say. Imagine the trolls trying to outwork you. Yeah, it'd be hilarious. They're not going to do it because they spend so much time trying to troll instead of actually doing what needs to be done. But yeah, I might do like full body tomorrow, like literally. Like we're going hard, like we go hard or go home kind of mentality. It's like, you know what, like it's like go hard or just don't bother at all. It's like we've got to take things seriously now instead of just half-assing. What's the point in half-assing? Like if you're half-assing a workout, you might as well just do some cardio or something, or just walk around, because you're not gonna get the results if you're just not pushing, towards failure, and you're not like doing enough like intensity. I'm like about 6'4". They're too busy making fake accounts like Sedos. They can't take pain. I know, because they're just weak-minded. And that's the thing, is all these men nowadays, they're so soy, aren't they? They're so, yeah, such soy. Yeah. I know it's like, yeah, like a bit of an overused kind of word, but yeah. This is what come to my mind, soy. A bunch of low testosterone. I mean, I don't think soy in of itself is really that bad unless you eat loads of it. Turns out that the estrogen that you get in soy isn't the same as what you get from, say, like mammalian estrogen. So you don't need to probably worry that much. I think it's more down to there's other factors going on that have decreased testosterone, like people become more obese. There's the food quality's down. There's a lot of hormones that are going into it, and I'm not going into it necessarily, but a lot of hormone disruptors, like endocrine disruptors, that are getting in the food supply, and also in things like the water supply as well. Things like birth control pills. You've got to consider that these things might have had an effect, because a lot of these are quite modern things. Like, I mean, but how long's birth control been around? There's another thing with birth control. It turns out that birth control may have unintended consequences. The problem with birth control is that it gives a woman the hormones of a pregnant woman when she's not pregnant. You know what that does? It makes her start to kind of actually changes her preferences in a man. So it makes her want a beta male instead of a more of a man. So what can happen is that when they come off birth control, they no longer have any. interest in that guy anymore. And they're like, I don't even like this guy anymore. Why did I ever like you? Like, a height supremacist. All right. Okay. Bring back community justice. What you mean? Community justice. Everything under 6'4" is manlet, me 6'5". Yeah, I'm about 6'4", so at least I'm kind of at the, like just above the cutoff. So yeah, sounds like another excuse, to be honest. What's an excuse? What you on about? What's an excuse? What are you on about? So talking about like the birth control pills and like I said, giving a woman the hormones of a pregnant woman. But why is that? How is it an excuse though? Like, what you mean? Like, what is your point? Are you trying to say that I'm making excuses? Like, there's actually been studies on this shit. There's actually been it's actual researched stuff on this. It's it affects your hormones. It affects the woman's hormones. To be fair, I probably wouldn't want to be with a woman that's on birth control in the first place because she's probably a fucking degenerate. Because, like, why would you be on birth control if you just, like, that means that you're sleeping around, basically. So I wouldn't actually be wanting to be with any of these. Anyway, hello, B, how you doing? What's up? So, yeah, most of them I wouldn't really want to actually get with anyway, because they're probably some fucking filthy 304 anyway. So, but the ones that are not on birth control are probably like more genuine, more actually not genuine. I mean, of course, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. But there might be more kind of kind of just like wholesome and more just like the type that would be more reserved and because the ones that just give it up to anybody, kind of a red flag, I would say. Oh, really? Oh, wow. But yeah, it's just like I said, if you just give it up to anybody, then that can be seen as a red flag. I think men need to actually have higher standards for women. It's like, yeah, women can have these high standards for men, and they have all these checklists of things that they need to have and whatever. But it's like men need to also be vetting women that they're talking to and be like, you know what, is this woman actually is she actually for the streets, or is she for the for the altar? Is that you gotta think like you gotta be vetting them. You can't just be thinking, oh, I just want to get with this woman. No, don't just get straight with her because that can just like screw you over. Oftentimes you can even end up fucking getting baby trapped, and you end up this can happen to women as well, of course, but where they get like they have a baby with a guy and then he just either walks out or well maybe he stays with her but cheats on her and doesn't really want to actually be responsible, but she doesn't want to like leave him because then that would mean her staying on her own. So my point is that both men and women have it bad nowadays, and it's just the destruction of the family unit, and we're seeing the effects of that where, if they're born without a solid family unit, then that can lead to developmental issues in a lot of cases. So, yeah, it's just, a lot of times we see a lot of weak men nowadays because they don't have a strong father figure. They're looking for, like other men as examples, like role models and things like that. You've got people like Jordan Peterson that they're trying to like, look up to people like that. But I think it is like some of them have some good things to say, but at the same time they're what you're saying, Hamster. That they're saying what they're saying. Sometimes they're can be like can get a bit hyperbolous about certain things. 100% correct. Is a huge problem. Birth control normalization has been a nightmare for intersexual dynamics. The second order effects are rarely disclosed or considered. Yeah, exactly. This is what I was saying. Yeah, about the about like how it can mess up with your preferences, and I might make a video on this because I've seen. I think it was something I saw on. I don't know if it was on Chris Williamson podcast or something like that, and they were talking about this. Some expert in the field or something where they were talking about. I think there's some guy who went on there who he seemed to know what he was talking about. Who was, and I've heard it somewhere else it being talked about, and there was apparently a book on it from some like author. I can't remember the name, but yeah. But there's this whole thing about like sexual dimorphism, and Jordan Peterson used to be the man. He's changed in recent years, unfortunately. Yeah, he seems to have become a kind of like quite weak nowadays, you could say. He's just always crying all the time, and yeah, of course, like I said, I think men at times should show emotion, but it should really be like only when it's like absolutely like necessary to like there's certain times where it's like, because if you're just crying all the time, then it's just like, I don't know. If people always see you upset, and then they're going to start to kind of just see that as the norm. But yeah, this is my impression of Jordan Peterson. Like the way that the society is nowadays, makes me really sad. Hello, do you like daylight saving time? I don't care whether it's daylight saving time or not. I don't really have too much. I don't really care too much about what time it is. It's just it's just a number on a clock or whatever. It's like it has no relevance to me really. But yeah, like it's just but like I said about sexual dimorphism, and but yeah, it's kind of, you're seeing a lot of these women on birth control, and then they're with these like guys and thinking, what the fuck does she see in this guy? He looks like a fucking pencil neck fucking like guy who just, well, it's not even that. I mean, like, it's not, I suppose there's nothing wrong if you're going to be like skinny or whatever, but it's not even that. They just seem to have a very weak kind of aura about them, if you know what I mean. They're just their aura. They have no like charisma. There's no like there's no swag. There's just nothing. It's just, they just seem very milk toast and just like just very kind of weak people, like just mentally weak as well. Just yeah, all of the charts, all of them. What do you mean? But yeah, there's this kind of like milk toast kind of personality, just kind of like they'll just kind of go along with the feminist narrative just because they feel like that's what's going to get them the results or whatever, because they're just so kind of, they're probably just like putting these women on a pedestal, and they're like, oh, I've just got to like go along with the the woke narrative because, oh, I'll get with one of these uni girls and they'll like me because I'm so like woke and so progressive. Yeah. But all you're doing is you're just being like kind of a simp, in a sense that you have no backbone. You're afraid to be yourself, which oftentimes in the long run would just end up actually, shooting yourself in the foot, because you're not actually a real man with real integrity. You'll just switch up your opinion just to suit somebody else. That, in my opinion, is pathetic. The comment before that was probably filtered. I posted a website. All right, okay, fair enough. So yeah, yeah, so a lot of these men have become quite weak, and then oftentimes a lot of these women will use them kind of as a, because they know that they're weak and simpy. So what will happen is I'll just go cheat on him, or just they'll say, oh, I want to have an open relationship, but he doesn't really get a say in that because he's afraid to challenge that and be like, no, I'm not having that, and just walk out of it. He'll just go along with that because he has no backbone. He has no, this is the state of like modern men, that a lot of them will just stay in something that they know is toxic and one-sided. That'll probably be why you have haters. You're not a typical weak simp. Yeah, because those are probably fucking like the types that'll buy OnlyFans and, give women validation constantly. And like it's just time that men grow up and actually become men and not be. I don't like to use the words beta and alpha because I just think it's a bit childish. Yeah, buy women's underwear, etc. It's like you see in a lot of them, going out and like paying shit for women, but there is a lot that are refusing to do it though. Like you'll see these women have such audacity to be like, oh, are you paying for my bill? I was watching this video where this woman like got food for all of their friends or something, and it ended up costing them literally thousands of pounds with the amount of food that they ordered. And he said, no, I'm not paying for this. Goodbye. What a chad. But thing is though, no man should be putting up with crap like that. He only ordered a small amount of food, and it wasn't like agreed upon to begin with that there was no like conditions where it's like, oh, if you come out with us, you're going to have to spend thousands of pounds on us, because it's like, and some might say, well, you have to like communicate beforehand, but it's like, who the fuck would like think that you're going to, spend thousands of pounds on somebody that you barely even know? That is absolutely insane. That is, it's, I mean, yeah. But it's like, I just think that, if you're meeting someone for the first time, meet them in a park, meet them at a beach, somewhere like that, have a picnic, something like that, something that doesn't really involve spending money. Because even nowadays, even things like cafes have become expensive. So if they're expecting you to, let's just say you go out to like a cafe even, and you might spend like 10, 20 pounds just on you. And then when you're having to pay for them as well, if they expect you to do that because you're the one, offering, then it ends up costing quite a bit of money just to go for a cafe nowadays. Which, like, they think you're just going to do that for them. I mean, and let's just say you do that every week and you're going out on these dates, and you could be spending months just going out on random dates. Oftentimes they might not even see you again, and even if they do, you might go on a few dates and then it doesn't work out, and then you've just dumped a lot of money just for it to not even work out in a lot of cases. I mean, I think that men just need to respect themselves, because if you don't respect yourself, then no one else is going to respect you. That's what men need to realize, is that the respect comes from within, because when it comes from within, then people will see your boundaries and then they'll respect it then. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this filtering nonsense, but buy their bottles of facts, constantly give women validation. Yeah, I know, it's just absolutely insane. The rational male, oh yeah. I don't know, I think that he's a bit kind of like, I don't know, I'm not really like sort of, I think a lot of that content can get a bit kind of, there is a lot of like
hypocrisy with a lot of the stuff. It's like, for example, you got stuff like Fresh and Fit where they're complaining about women being like 304s, but yet they bring them on their live to promote their OnlyFans. So they're getting these worst of the worst women on, setting them up with questions. It's all just it's all just meant to make them look stupid and make them look really bad. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like a lot of it's like, I don't know, and then you've got like Rational Male, and I just feel like, I don't know, a lot of them are just they can be quite negative, and then, because there is good people out there, it's just that if you keep looking for red flags all the time and not looking for any green flags, then it's like, all you're going to see is red flags. So we need to have balance, and we need to like, because there's this whole thing of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Whatever we focus on, we start to manifest more of that. So if we focus on the negative, like the red flags, all we're going to do is see red flags. But if we're looking for green flags too, then we're going to see that. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but it's about being realistic and like just kind of when you meet someone, just be kind of just be cautious, but also don't be too cynical about things at the same time. It's like, yeah, most people will have the odd red flag about them, but that doesn't mean they're a bad person. And it's just that, I don't know, like, I see a lot of, to me, a lot of this red pill manosphere stuff does seem kind of like the male equivalent of like feminism. So yeah, when you're at the extremes of both ends, it can be quite toxic, in my opinion. But I would find that I'm somewhere in the middle where I'm like, I'm not a pro-feminist, but I'm also, kind of not sort of bashing on women and anything like that. I just kind of see things the way that they are, and not in this kind of polarized sort of perspective on things. That there's good and bad people everywhere, and I know I've had some kind of doomer views and stuff in the past on like Western women and all that. But the thing is, though, if you actually go out in the real world, there is good people out there. A lot of people just kind of are in this kind of echo chamber online, and they have these warped views on things. So we have to be careful not to just fall into like that trap of like thinking that everyone's all out to get you, and we've just got to keep it balanced. But yeah. So what other content do you watch then, or like that? Do you watch Fresh and Fit then, and who else is there? There's Whatever podcast. There's like a few other ones like that as well. But some stuff would come up on my my thing, like Legion of Men or Tale of the Fiend and people like that. But I mean, I agree with some of the takes at times, but then like, I don't know. It's just when they hear them talk about like, oh, women only want a guy who's 6 foot tall, but there's countless times of like, when you see a woman get with a guy who's short, sometimes even a guy who's shorter than she is. Now, you could argue that you don't know the situation of like, why did she actually get with him? Was there some ulterior motive there? I mean, you could argue about things, but then it gets very subjective. And but when you actually look in the real world, it doesn't seem to actually match what a lot of the black pilled and the and like the kind of, you could say like the darker red pilled sort of people, because I would say like the red pill itself is kind of like a spectrum, more on the kind of like the other side. It's more kind of like, it seems more optimistic and more kind of about self-improvement and like bettering yourself. Whereas people on the more extreme, on like the black pill side of things, it's like where they're just so they're just like, so kind of checked out and just like, what, I don't want to deal with any of this because it's not worth it. But then if you think that, then you're just gonna create that reality for yourself. I like Myron, the F and F show format isn't my cup of tea usually. Yeah, it's just that like I think the problem is with the type of people that they get on there. And wasn't like one of them actually exposed as actually dating a single mother, or because they're going on about saying that you shouldn't date a single mother, and it's like, but the thing is though, you can't say that every single time, because sometimes there might be circumstances where they've hello Scooter. How's that going? Not too bad, thank you. We've got a bit of snow at the moment, but I don't think it's sticking yet, so I don't know. But yeah, with like, Fresh and Fit, I mean, but I saw him like having like a meltdown on it, and I don't know if it was played up or whatever, but it didn't exactly seem like an alpha male at that time. And I know I've been through times like that and even worse. But I'm trying to learn just to try and stay calm and collected and all that, because real men will actually learn to be secure in things and not freak out when things don't go their way, because you have to be confident in yourself. That's what a true masculine man will be, is yeah. But I hope all is well with you, and I'm going to be getting off soon. What time we're on? Shit, it's like 11:15, so wasn't going to stay on this long, but I did have a bit of a break in between my lives, so yeah, just kind of like aimlessly walking around at the moment, so yeah. But yeah, like I don't know, there was another thing as well where Myron went on Jubilee, and they were like, it was like this fit versus fat thing, and he didn't seem to really kind of like empathize so much with the experience of someone who's fat, and it just seemed a bit kind of yeah, it seemed a bit like he doesn't really like, he was like, oh well, I got up to 250 pounds, but thing is, he had certain habits before that, so it's like a lot of these people who are overweight, they don't exactly know what they're doing. A lot of them, they're just kind of yeah, I'm online tomorrow, yeah. Like they oftentimes they don't really know, and it's like they need some guidance or whatever, and but it just feels like it can be a bit insensitive at times, and but it's just they bring these people on because they know that that's what's gonna get more views when they have a bunch of stupid people on their lives, because it's an echo chamber basically. But yeah, it's like you get these people like Sneeko as well as another one that I used to watch him a bit, and it was like it just get into like arguments and like drama. You see all these like drama channels and things like that, and they're just trying to pick fights with everybody because they know that's how they get clout, by trying to be like, pick these big names that they can just like, because then they're going to be bringing a lot of traffic to their page, because oftentimes they might make a rebuttal, and even if they don't, then it'll come up on the algorithm. And it's just, I just see a lot of these people like, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, of course, even Tate. They're all kind of like the same in the sense that they say a lot of things that are, so oftentimes there's some truth in what they say, but it can be quite hyperbolic and deliberately kind of almost like it's like a rage baiting thing that they do to exaggerate certain things to cause a reaction. And it's just that it's tainting like the men's online space. of being like some kind of misogynistic, whatever you want to call it, because of things like what they say. And oftentimes things even to do with like fitness and to do with things like game and then things like, to do with attracting a woman. And if they talk about things like that, they would automatically be assumed as being misogynistic. And yeah. Hi, MPG website. Hello, Tito. How you doing? Welcome into my live. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. But I'll just be on a bit of a rant, and yeah, I'm gonna get off in a second, but I will be back tomorrow. So yeah, stay safe, everybody. I'll see you all soon. Peace out.